Hello humans and welcome to episode 17 of Chef Mike Does Stuff. I of course am Chef Mike. It's my show, so I put my own name in the title so you know who you're actually watching. And today we are going to make one of my wife's favorite things in the world, candied maple bacon. This is going to be an easy one for me because it's two ingredients. It's bacon I bought from the store and some real maple syrup, and I guess you could count pan spray as an ingredient if you want, but that's basically it. But I'm going to show you the process, how to make it awesome, tasty, and delicious. First of all, I'd like to thank Adeline May Riccio, little chef out there whose video of little ice cream bread was fantastic. Thank you and your dad so much for watching. I know you're a bit of a fan, so this is the shout out for you being so awesome. So thank you again. And then I'd like to thank, of course, everybody else who's been liking and sharing and showing me pictures of the food they're making and asking me what they should have for dinner and all these food questions that are easily Googleable, but you decide to ask me instead so that I can Google it and then respond to you so I seem awesome. So keep it up. I'll keep doing that. And finally, like I said in a previous video, if you are a brand, if you have a product, if you have a knife, kitchen equipment that you would like me to use or feature on Chef Mike Does Stuff, make sure to, I'm going to put like the words of my email address right here, chefmikedoesstuff@gmail.com. Maybe I'll put like a explosion or some other sounds or something like that, or like little boop, 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 boop. Who knows what I'm gonna do in editing. I just made my life a little more difficult. Anyway, back to candied maple bacon. This is gonna be super easy. I'm not even gonna cut to the cutting board because we don't need one, and I'm not gonna do a different camera angle just yet because the first step is just put it on a tray and put it in the oven. So I've got, and for this, thick cut bacon. Now, a lot of times if I'm wrapping things in bacon, I do not use thick cut bacon. Actually, the traditional cut cooks a little better. But for candied maple bacon, I'm going to use that thick cut goodness. So first thing you're going to want to do, at least what I do, is I've got a pan, I got foil so that it's easier to clean up because there's going to be a lot of cooked sugary things. And then I have a baking rack. If you don't have foil or a pan, or foil or a baking rack, you could do it right in the pan. I don't think it comes out as delicious, but it is certainly so good that it really doesn't matter. But if you want the perfect candied bacon, use this kind of setup. I'm also going to do just a quick pan spray. You will thank me later just to help some of that bacon, especially after it gets candied, from sticking on the tray. You're going to want to be able to get it up a little easier. So all you have to do, and this is going to be so difficult, is put the bacon on the pan. I don't even know why I'm like actually filming this, but hey, that's cool. This is a considerably thick cut bacon. What I look for, obviously you want a good lean to fat ratio. If it's all just fat, I mean, it'll still be delicious. Or if it's all lean, not as delicious, just because there needs to be a good balance of fat and the meat in there as well. You could get them kissing, you could get them touching. It's all going to shrink down in the oven. One of the things I also look for are what looks to be more centered cuts. So if you get a pork belly and you make your own bacon, when you get to either end, the bacon actually looks a little different. When you get that thick cut, center cut, the bacon all looks, has a great shape to it. It holds together. It doesn't have all those weird, like sometimes it's got like pieces that kind of fall off. So just look for that. There's usually a little window in the back of your bacon to see what's up. So I'm doing a pan full. I'm going to obviously use this for something else later because wasting bacon is a travesty. Now, another thing I want to address. Just reminded me, this is totally random. I'm doing it right now. At the Extra Life event for Achievement Hunter and Rooster Teeth folk, I did something with bacon. I had leftover raw bacon and I threw it out. And do you want to know why? Because that bacon was probably sitting unrefrigerated for I don't know how long. So the chance that they're going to take it and properly hold it for later use wasn't going to happen. So the appropriate food safety thing to do was to discard it. So that is why that one time I did throw away bacon. But I digress. I've got my oven on at 325 degrees. I'm going to cook this a bit before I even start brushing it with real maple syrup. I will go move it to the overhead camera so you can see what it looks like when I start brushing it on. So 325 degrees. This may take an hour, 2 hours. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I haven't made it in my own oven lately, so we'll see what happens. So we'll see you in a few minutes with delicious half-cooked bacon on the table. All right, it has been a half hour in the oven. This is how the bacon looks. I want to get a little cook on the bacon before you start adding the syrup, so that way the bacon is all the way cooked before the syrup gets too dark and all that fun stuff. So, bacon is out. First application of syrup. Once again, this is the real maple syrup. It does the best. It tastes the best. Yes, you can use some of those other syrups out there. I highly recommend getting a better one and not one with a, stupid history or whatever. But anyway, I digress. Just put some syrup on it, like so. And it's going to go back into the oven for another half hour. Then I'm going to take it out. We're going to take a look. I'm going to flip it before I put it in the oven. You get the idea. I'm going to finish doing this. I'm going to brush the other side. And we're going to let it keep cooking. Bye. All right, so it's been another half hour. So it's been a full hour. Now I'm going to start brushing these just like I did before, top and bottom. I'm just going to do 3 like this. And I'm not going to waste your time watching me do it to all of them. So I'm going to put it in for this time, because it's looking pretty good, 20 minutes. And we're going to see what happens. I lied. I kept it in there for 30 minutes. So this is 30 minutes later. I'm going to brush them again. And this time we are getting pretty close. One of the things you'll notice as you do this more and more, you're getting close when you try to flip them with your tongs and they just stick to your tongs. I mean, it gets real tacky. That's how you know you're getting close to having that candied maple bacon. So I'm going to brush these, and this time probably going to put them in the oven for just 20 minutes and maybe we'll be done. All right, it was 20 minutes. 18 minutes I took it out later. Hold on, my timer's still going. I'm going to cancel it. Okay. Now, as much as I'd love to pick this up and eat it right now, 2 things. First of all, it will destroy the roof and tongue in your mouth. So don't do that. But you need to give it a little bit for the sugars and stuff to kind of solidify back up so that it becomes candied. Right now, and I will show you, the pieces are still a little flimsy because it's pretty darn hot. But as this cools, in about 5 minutes, it's going to start getting a little harder, a little less shiny. It'll still be pretty awesome and shiny. But then it will be ready to eat. So that is what you want to make sure you let it sit. It's a great color. I think it's done just the way I want it. It's still going to be a little flimsy. But like I said, as it sits, it's going to be perfect. I lifted them all up so that way it is a little easier to get them off the pan later. So, all right. In a few minutes, I'm going to put some of this bacon in my mouth. It's been 10 minutes. Here is the candied bacon. I'll put some sexy music. You can start seeing now. It might be just a little flimsy, but this is what we're looking for here. Look at this. Okay. See how it just kind of... Oh, yeah. Let's see if I could do it with a piece so you could hear it in the microphone. Okay, shh. Yep, not as loud as I thought, so maybe you can't hear it. But the point is, I don't want this super hard, crispy, not cracking. I don't want it raw and chewy. There's a sweet spot in the middle where the fat and the bacon is rendered just right. And when you bite into it and it hits your tongue, it almost melts like cotton candy, and it just coats your tongue. And then you get that nice sweet, honey, or not honey, maple syrup flavor on the outside. Smoke, salt, meat. These are cooked to perfection. So let me try. You're gonna get a little bit in your teeth, a little bit. That is stupid good. Perfect. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, retweet. I guess you could make like bacon envelopes and send mail with information about my show. So maybe do that. And there's a fly in my house. What? I'll get him. I'll get him. Anyway, remember to do all that stuff, subscribe and all that stuff. And I gotta say my line because you are not gonna want to miss when Chef Mike does stuff. I'm going to eat more bacon now. Look at how shiny it is. I mean, that's pretty magical right there.